Welcome to another episode of Ghosts of England. Today we check out the home of the legend of Robin Hood. Here are 12 real reports from the county of Nottinghamshire. Number 1. Edna. Bonington Theatre in Arnold has a ghostly resident that has been named as Edna. When the building has been locked up for the night, footsteps can be heard from within the property, and lights have also been seen moving around. A local rumour believes that the theatre was built on old Quaker burial ground, and that Edna is a former occupant. Number 2. Eyed Hound. There is an old case from Old Trent Road in Beckenham. A farmer was supposedly driven mad by a large black dog with brightly glowing red eyes. He came across the creature and tried to stop it in its tracks, which turned out to be a bad choice on the behalf of the farmer, as he was left nearly paralysed after the encounter. Other sightings of the hound have been seen walking from the churchyard to the nearby marshlands, but thankfully nothing like the case of the farmer has happened since. Number 3. Robin Hood Theatre. A group of touring actors noticed that while they were staying at the Robin Hood Theatre, their props were constantly disappearing and furniture would move all by itself. After the team had finished one night, they had packed everything away and turned off all the lights in their building before locking up. But by the time they'd reached their cars in the car park, they noticed that all the lights were back on again. Number 4. Comforting Presence. Our next report from a private house in Beeston is probably one that shares a special message. Most people report encounters of ghosts to be scary and terrifying. Sometimes someone encounters a spirit but doesn't feel scared. But in this case, the witness was often comforted by the spirit that came to them. In times of great distress, a comforting presence would manifest itself in an attempt to cheer the witness up, just going to show that not all spirits are to be feared. But this friendly presence would also seem to have a mischievous side. It would often hide things within the house, sometimes for even years before it would turn up just as casually as it left. Number 5. The Old Bell Hotel. In Barnby Moor, reports started to come in from the 1980s of a phantom grey figure that lightly resembled a woman that could be seen on the staircase, corridors and even in the ballroom of the Old Bell Hotel. This may be the same figure that some visitors blame for poltergeist activity on site. Or it could be the gentleman that has been seen entering rooms, but whenever anyone would go to investigate, the man would disappear. Number 6. Admiral Rodney Public House. In Calverton, the Admiral Rodney Public House has had quite a few ghostly encounters. It is believed that the spirit of Tom Shadwell can be seen throughout the building. Tom was a former innkeeper here until 1875, so his connection to the property is fully understandable. There are also reports of children that can be heard playing and talking amongst each other, while a female ghost known as Sarah has been blamed for mild poltergeist activity on site. Number 7. St Mary's Church. The ruins of St Mary's Church in Colston Bassett is a place of frequent otherworldly activity. Many people have claimed to hear the long since taken bells ringing out from within the building, while other people have reported that they have heard the singing of hymns. Candlelight has also been seen coming from within the building, though whenever investigated, nothing can be found. But perhaps the eeriest report from this area is that of an odd moaning noise that appears to be coming from underground. It is believed there may be a now hidden tunnel under the grounds of St Mary's Church. Number 8. Lady in the Back Seat. There are many reports from witnesses saying that while driving down George Lane towards Calverton, they have seen the ghostly manifestation of an elderly lady in the back seat of the car, while other witnesses say that while looking in the rearview mirrors they can see a dark hooded entity stood by the side of the road, but whenever they turn back to look at the figure, it would disappear from sight. Number 9. World War II Bomber. In 2004, from Crotwell Bishop, a witness saw from out of a kitchen window a World War II bomber flying silently overhead. The witness feared that the bomber was flying too low and was going to crash. She had quickly run outside to investigate further, but the plane had completely vanished. The witness later discovered that during World War II, a bomber had crashed nearby. Number 10. Dark Blob. Our next report is from a bus driver and bus conductor. One night, while they were travelling down the A57 in Elksley, a dark, non-human shaped blob appeared in front of the bus. The driver didn't have time to stop and ended up running over the entity, and as it made contact with the bus, it screamed out in pain. The driver and conductor quickly got off the bus to check out whatever they had hit, but after an intensive search, nothing could be found. Number 11. The Man in the Doorway. A report from 2002 from a group of teenagers that were hanging around some disused houses in Kimberley. They decided to go inside some of the sheds that they'd seen on site. While inside one of the sheds, one of the teenagers spotted a man in a high visibility jacket stood in the doorway. Though when he pointed out the man to the other members of the group, no one else could see the man. A month later, that teenager came back with another friend to the same shed, but the doorway where he saw the man was no longer there. While talking to some more friends about the incident, he found out that one of his friend's dads had seen the same entity while out walking past the sheds. The man seemed solid enough until he suddenly disappeared. And finally for this episode, number 12. The Supervisor. At the Pleasley Vale Mills in Mansfield, there is a lot of talk about the Supervisor. He is apparently the most frequently sighted ghost on the grounds of the mills. He has been often mistaken for a real person, only to vanish in front of witnesses' eyes. There is a rather saddening report of a spirit of a girl that has been seen on site. It is believed that she was raped and murdered on the grounds here. But also a confusing sight of a pair of legs that have been seen walking around without a body. Now that is messed up. That's it for this episode. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. If you like the video, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe.